Okay.
Were you always beautiful?
No. That's very funny. No, actually my nickname as a child was Stork. So
Really?
yeah, yeah. You know, a lot of girls that grew up skinny and awkward and, you know, long-legged end up being models. So kind of makes sense that when you're, you know, going through the teenage awkward stages that, yeah, you're not always so pretty. But
when did you first realize that you were pretty?
You know, it was when I started modeling, believe it or not. I was 23, which is kind of old to figure that out.
Really?
Yeah, and that's, I think, part of why I loved modeling was because it made me feel pretty. And I hadn't really come to terms with my own beauty as a woman, my sexuality as a woman. I was very shy and didn't have a lot of luck with boyfriends up to that point. And that was really when the light bulb went off over my head and I thought, wow, I think I could look really pretty.
And what did that do to your self-image, your self-confidence?
Well, it was a tremendous change in my life, really. I had a lot more confidence in my personal life and was very interested suddenly in looking good and, you know, going on auditions and wearing pretty clothes, and the whole modeling business was really fascinating to me. So,
I mean, you became a model at 23. That's pretty old to start modeling, isn't it?
Yes, that's very old to start. Yeah, that was unusual.
And did you ever ask yourself, I wonder how long this whole thing's gonna last?
Yes. And I didn't think it would last very long. I had a lot of people telling me, people in the business saying, you know, a lot of models are retiring at your age, not starting. And so I knew that I would have a brief career. I thought I would have a brief career. And I loved it, so I wanted to do it just sort of full on, as much as I could, as long as I could, not realizing that you can actually do it for a long time. It's just a different kind of modeling that you can do long term, which I did.
And how long did you end up?
29 years, long time. Yeah.
Did you have a hard time walking away from your career?
No, I didn't. I had done it for a very long time, like I said, and it's not that I was really burned out on it, but I had achieved everything that I wanted to achieve, and my husband, I got married, which changed a lot of things in my life, obviously. And my husband and I started talking about coming back to North Carolina after we were married, and it took about 7 years, but during that time, I really had plenty of time to adjust to the idea of leaving my career behind, and I was definitely ready to do it by the time I actually did it. I miss my friends, you know, and I miss a lot of things about it, but I was done. I did it for a long time. I feel like I've made a lot more friends here than I did in the years I lived in Los Angeles, and I've made a lot more, I spent a lot more time socially with, you know, going out to dinner and going to restaurants and the movie than I ever really did when I lived in a big city. It's funny.
In a big city, there are a lot more people, but you don't know any of them. In a little town, there's very few people, but you can't help but know all of them.
That's a really good point. You're right. You're right. It's easier, I think, to make friends in a small town than it is in a big city. You have to really work at it in a bigger city. You have to make more of an effort. Here, you just walk out your door and, you know, there's your little town. It's right there. So.